others subsequently identified the element responsible as fluoride by feeding the rats distilled water with fluoride added, being allowed to graze over flats which, it turned out, were phosphate-ridden, and whenever in nature you find phosphates, you find fluorides. Finally identified fluoride as the substance which was responsible for the quick wearing away of the teeth of his poor little mouton. 3 people, none ever heard of the others, in the same month, the year 1931, getting into scientific literature with the idea that fluoride ingested by water in the case of McKay and the Smiths, as dust in Bailey's situation, was responsible for this affection of teeth. What did this do to people concerned with the public health? A great deal was known about the toxic properties of fluoride prior to 1931. Holm's classic work on fluorosis in cryolite workers was published 15 years earlier than that, in 1916. Fluoride was known to be a deadly poison in acute doses, a crippling element in chronic intoxication, and when the news that this horrible substance was found in domestic drinking waters hit the public health field, you can judge the reaction. Consternation, dismay, and an immediate rush to find out if we have this stuff in our water, first of all, and secondly, if we do, whether it's associated with any of the ills that we're concerned about. It was a very broad assault on population characteristics of individuals using a fluoride-bearing water, which included the consideration, I think, of every disease that had received as much as a name back in the 1930s and the 1940s. And a great deal of this led to the sort of thing that I warned you against last time, of saying that because people in a given area don't wear shoes and have very little dental caries is inhibited by the wearing of shoes. So in these early reports, which were rushed into print, of course, McKay, with his interest in things dental, proved himself the final idiot about 1925 when he ventured to get into print and say right out loud where anyone could hear him, "It seems to me that there is no more dental caries, no more dental decay in these children with fluorose teeth than in children whose teeth seem to have perfect enamel." Now that was stupid. In 1925, everybody knew that dental caries was a calcium deficiency disease, that your teeth decayed because the enamel was imperfectly formed, and given perfect enamel, you'd never have any trouble with caries. But McKay not only made the statement and stood by it, he came out a year later with an even stronger statement, namely, that these youngsters in areas where fluorosis is endemic seem to have less dental caries than children in the areas around them. He had a great deal of trouble getting anybody to believe that this thing could possibly be true.